like I said, he looks like.
Okay,
Milton.
Ryan, you gotta explain what. Go explain to the audience.
That's a Rowdy Piper shirt, man.
Look at
Yeah,
this.
it's the official one.
Look
But it's
at
not just
that.
that.
God damn, man.
Get the hell
Hold
out.
on.
Look at that.
The question you got to ask yourself though is, am I wearing anything under the kilt? And for a $50 super chat, I'll show you.
And then Aaron lost his entire empire that day.
Oh God, what empire?
This shitty thing. This isn't this weird world we all find ourselves in, that we woke up one day and said, "How'd I get here? How'd I end up with a Canadian wearing a kilt on my show?" What?
Roddy's from Manitoba. Do you know that?
I did know he was Canadian. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I don't know who to thank, especially since I'm Irish and English. Why do I have a kilt?
Isn't that half Canada anyway? A lot of Scottish and Irish and whatnot.
Yeah, from that generation, most of the people were born in the UK and raised in Canada. So,
Now,
that's
now I
good
feel
coffee.
underdressed. In all honesty, I got this nice new sweater, and Ryan pops in a goddamn costume.
well, why didn't you dress up as your Christmas coal-covered Santa outfit?
Yeah, St. Peter or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, Sinterklaas or Black
Yeah,
Pete.
Sinterklaas, Trudeau.
Or Black Pete. Which one do you want?
Black Pete.
Okay, because you are not getting away with Black Pete. I might, because I've got like the European argument where it's like, it's a culture. It's a good culture. So,
Dude,
I
that's
just
just
like
hilarious
Chris-
if you show up as Black Pete once.
Okay, I'll do it. When are you hosting? I'll do it.
Oh yeah, maybe not on my channel.
You'd have complete grounds like, no, I am Black Pete.
Dutch.
This is a Dutch, and you could I bet you could get grounds of suing YouTube.
Yeah.
You could, and then they do. But we only meant non-white people's culture. Oh my God, we're so sorry. Okay.
I could try it. The problem is though, is that a lot of like political parties are trying to like sweep it under the rug, where it's like, no, we'll do Chimney Pete this year. He's not completely black. It's like, I get it.
The entire
Because-
world is autistic.
Because the United Nations found out about a Dutch tradition and they lost their mind.
Well, that's good. I mean, they messed up Rwanda pretty bad. I guess this is their way of getting amends.
I guess.
Yeah, the UN really has helped out Africa, haven't they? Look at them go.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Well, after the success of Cyprus, can you blame them?
What happened in Cyprus? I'm sure what.
Basically nothing. The Greeks and the Cyps were going almost at war for forever, and the UN just kind of stood there and hoped nothing would happen.
Well, so kind of like Hamas and Israel.
Sort of. A little less paragliding.
What year was that? In the 70s or 60s?
60s, 70s, 80s, I think it was. I think they only finished their conflict in the 90s, to be honest. There was a
Greece
Canadian
is-
posting there for years.
Greece and Cyprus, not Turkey.
I don't know exactly how it works. I should be more knowledgeable about it, but I'm not.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the higher educated Canadian type who's actually studied history.
Well, I only knew about it because all the firefighters on our ship were in the army before they joined firefighting, and they were in Cyprus, and they used to tell us stories about Cyprus and Bosnia, and I was tired of hearing it.
What's up, Fitch?
How's it going, guys?
We're live now, so don't
Okay.
share your opinions about little boys, okay? Just hold.
At least count to 30
You
first.
need to make them run and do push-ups and wrestle.
You like to see him sweat? Sorry.
Jesus, Jack.
I gotta tell you, I've been coaching my
Wow.
my kids' 5th grade, 6th grade football. Kids are just different these days, man. It's weird.
Are they good? Like, are they playing or no?
They don't take anything seriously.
Hmm.
Everything's just a touch butt goof off.
What?
I don't get it. Like when I was little, I was their age. Like we were serious. Me and my friends, we wanted to win. Like we listened to the coach. You know, we weren't like pulling each other's flags or whatever garbage behind the coach's back when he's explaining the drill.
What age are we talking here?
5th, 6th.
Okay, so these aren't little kids. These are boys that should know better.
Yeah, they're about ready to. They're starting to get leg hair and armpit hair, and they're about ready to go to junior high. And
In fairness, though, when I was that age, I would have called you a tryhard for listening to the coach. That was like the millennial thing.
Yep, same here. It's like, oh my god!
And look at how well your generation is doing. Man.
Yeah, in fairness,
We
I
might have
didn't
been
have
the
like
last
beef with
guy.
Dana White, so yeah, definitely something that John beat me on.
We know if anyone else is showing up to town or no.
Rolo might. Thor's got food poisoning.
Yeah, Ned's hurt.
Yeah,
that's her-
and Glenn is filling up some glory hole somewhere.
Okay. Well, it's that time. We'll go ahead and begin and all that.
Yeah, because we haven't gone live for 5 minutes already.
no, I don't. We go live. Then guess what? We could go home early and be done with this, and then
You know what I'm gonna do after this
Go
show?
home?
masturbate. You're gonna masturbate to Vince. Masturbate to Rob.
I will get
Masturbate to TJ.
No, I will get a bucket of KFC all for myself.
Ooh.
Yo,
Go fuck
you guys don't
yourself.
have Popeyes or Chick-fil-A up there?
No Popeyes.
KFC's got that special
Grease.
addictive
That
ingredient.
special white trash taste, you
Yeah.
know. It's like
Every once in a while, it's good. And they got that Mountain Dew, whatever, the sweet mango.
never had it.
Oh,
I
they've
just
got
think-
that at the KFC here. It comes in a bag.
Wait, there's soda that
bag.
comes in a bag?
Yeah, it's a KFC bag with a handle.
Oh, it's like they put it in your veins, kind of shit.
That's up there with the garbage bag or the garbage can of nachos in Texas.
just mainlining Mountain Dew.
Where man, that sounds like you're more in Wyoming there, Fitch, than California. Good Lord.
Nice. I
All
want
right.
to try it.
How many of you guys have heard of this or seen this blondettes whining and complaining about working a 9 to 5? Have you seen it? You have.
Yeah, we saw
I
it.
saw her. Yeah.
All right. Well, for the sake of the audience, I'm going to try and share. Okay.
She's on her period. Remember.
I don't even get me. Well, I'll get there. Hang on. Let me see if I could share this.
Boom. I'm gonna
Does
roll.
that come up? Am I doing
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay, good. Look
Oh
at-
my God, Aaron! Click
What?
it away. Nothing. It was just kidding.
It's a Rule 34 joke. Just roll with it.
Oh, all right. So let's play this for those of you who haven't, and then we'll go from here.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9 to 5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh!
Just so you know, she's going to say like a billion times here, and your blood pressure is going to get up. So.
Thoughts and
If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till like 6:15 earliest, and then like I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook
We all
my
have the
dinner
same
either.
24
Like, I
hours in a
don't
day,
have energy
lady.
to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset. Oh my God. Nothing to do with my job at all.
Okay, I'm being honest. I would never advise doing. Oh wait, hang on. We got someone else in the house. Oh no, that's Fitch. We got everyone. We got all right. I would never recommend this, but man, I would love to be piloting the truck that hits her in a metaphorical Lego world. The
Okay.
tone and her voice is just torture. Like this is where you'd have like Manuel Noriega stuck in his compound. We're like, we're just gonna blast this girl 24/7, and then he'll just walk out under his own volition.
But just like the 9 to 5 schedule in general is crazy. Being in the office 9 to 5, like if it was remote, you get off at 5 and you're home and everything's fine. But like I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and like
You'd
people
think
that drive
she
to the
was
office,
working
like
the
it's
coal mines or something.
Hey,
you don't get off at 5, and I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but like I literally get off, it's pitch black, like I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like how do you have time to like meet like a guy? I don't know. Like how do you have time for like dating? Like I don't have time for anything, and I'm
You
like
start
so
a
stressed
YouTube
out,
channel.
and I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm all emotional. But like, am I so dramatic? It's fine.
all right, I'm
Yes,
killing that.
you're so
She
dramatic.
just told us. She
But-
just told us it's fine. We can just ignore this.
Well, that's it. That's rule 0, guys.
Good night.
We're done. No.
Ryan probably has
Hey,
some words
I
coming
know
back.
I know it's really easy. It's really easy to laugh at this girl and be like, haha, we all have to work. Yeah, suck it
No.
up. But like Ryan, you made a good tweet the other day. Like people literally died for the 8-hour workday. Like
Yeah.
I studied history, so we studied the labor movement. We studied all the strikes. The strike busters, scabs. We covered all that stuff. Being able to walk outside your apartment, walk 10 minutes to your job, work 8 hours, and be home before 6 o'clock. They fought for that. They fought for that right to have that. And we've had that slowly whittled away in our country. pay is stagnant. It hasn't risen in generations. And like I feel for her. I do. Like I chose to fight people in my underwear in a cage because I could see where work was going. And I was like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not commuting an hour to work, 2 hours to work. There are people out here in California that commute 2 hours to work the 8 hours and then 2 hours home. You're kidding me. That's
but she's not
unbelievable.
commuting
Normal.
she is not doing that. I knew one guy who did commute that in LA, and I asked, like, dude, why are you in California? But you bring up a good point, Fitch. How she was obviously raised, assuming this is authentic, assuming she's being sincere, which I'm going to get to towards the end of the show. How'd she get here? Someone must have raised her to get to this point where all of a sudden what is a very normal everyday job, she just can't handle it. She's breaking under the pressure.
Yeah, it reminds me. Do you remember that Starbucks chick that was on a while back that was on like her first shift and she had a breakdown too? It's the same thing. Yeah. I get that. And to be fair, I mean, every first job sucks. And every kid who's never had to work in his life probably hated it. We never had the ability to post it on the internet for everybody, though.
You know what my first job was?
What was yours?
There was a youth work program that Jefferson County in Colorado
here we go.
had. Youth
I was
work
the priest.
program. And it was we were building and maintaining trails at open space parks. So we had to get up and
Open space, man. Ooh.
I had to get up at like 5 a.m, go down to Golden, Colorado, get on a bus, and then spend all day hiking with 50-pound rock bars and sledgehammers and pickaxes and stuff like that. We would go hiking for 8 hours a day, building and maintaining trail.
So you were a ditch digger.
I was a ditch digger. That was my first job, and it paid $4.25 an hour because that was what minimum wage was back then. And I loved it.
I was doing child labor. I was doing child labor for $5 an hour, baling hay and picking corn. So like,
they paid you?
Yeah, I never got paid. Hauling irrigation lines, feeding cows,
when I went for another family, worked for a different family.
That's the key.
Yeah, if it was in our family, I had to cut wood or whatever. Yeah, that was free.
Could we say, I mean, everyone here has had, like, I collected cans and I worked at a landscaping company where we just mixed dirt. We were literally shoveling shit for $3.30 an hour. Has everyone here had a job when they were a teenager or a 12-year-old, or even if it was shoveling driveways or something?
I had industrial insulation.
Like
cement
HVAC?
plant,
Jack grew up in a different era.
Like up on a big freaking tall thing that's all wobbly, and you got to wrap conductors or whatever, and it's 100 degrees outside, and you got to wear long sleeves because all the itchy stuff.
But we were exposed to it. I mean, it wasn't like this culture shock. Like, and here, okay, fine, commute and everything. Explain to them, riddle me this, riddle me that. How is this any different to this? I can understand the premise, like, oh, we never told you what work was like. Daddy will take care of you, little princess. But didn't they go to school? Isn't it kind of the same thing? Since 5, you get on the bus at a crack of a fart in the morning. You go to this place of sadness and grayness and boringness and death. And then you hop on the bus back home with a commute. How is that any different than work? I mean, shouldn't she be somewhat, or the young people be somewhat accustomed to the idea of a 9 to 5?
No,
I think the schools are screwed up too, though, because like my kids are going to a private school, expensive private school, and they still come home with like hours of homework.
Well, but it's okay.
I know I didn't have that when I was at school. We had study hall, and we had times to get it done. So like I didn't have a lot of homework.
Right. But you still got up, had a commute, sat at a place that sucked for 8 hours with bosses that you want to run over with trucks. And then you went back home. I mean, kind of. And then on top of it, then you had, maybe your kids had homework. But shouldn't this have accustomed young people today to going and work?
You're talking about delayed adolescence. I get it. Yeah, no, there's no summer jobs anymore. Those don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
The days of you work the summers and then you pay for your college, those are over. Kids don't do that anymore. Immigrants do that.
Right.
So these kids, there's actually a really great lecture on this where they're showing how Zoomers are basically screwed. Their parents screwed them because they haven't had any hardship until they've reached adulthood. And the problem with that hardship is it teaches you to be resilient. how to put hardship in perspective. That's why she's crying over like a work day. Where naturally you're like, I used to do way worse than that and I'm fine. Yeah, but she never had that opportunity. So you're watching stunted people have stunted reactions for the world to see. It really is I want to shit on her. Little pretty blonde girl, of course I want to shit on her. But it's really hard because it's like, what else was going to happen? She was literally set up to fail. I mean this though. And there's like a real... Sorry, I'm cutting you off, Aaron.
It's like
go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, but then there's a real issue with this. Yeah, the workday, the labor stuff, absolutely. My wife's company's doing this right now. Their work from home is going away, and now people have like 4-hour commutes out of nowhere, and they're having meltdowns over it. And like, we made the effort to live within walking distance from it, but you have to make those conscious choices, and people just don't. And then they wonder why things don't work out. And yeah, it's a horrible problem. And then this kid is just thrown into there, like, here, man, good luck, hit the ground running. And now she has a meltdown, and that's the worst part. Is now she gets a chance because she doesn't have any friends, because Zoomers don't have friends because you don't talk to people. They go onto TikTok, and that was her version. She should be in a Starbucks with her friend crying about her job while they drink PSLs. But because she doesn't have any PSL friends, she goes on TikTok and goes viral as the whiny crying girl with the job. And then everybody else who works their ass off and has those horrible commutes and basically forgot what their children look like get to look at her like, she's so lazy. Why can't she be a good person like me who hates my life? It's absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal.
I mean, I'm surprised. Why are they taking the work from home away? Like, is nobody against that or something?
No, I'm with you on that. I'm surprised you guys
can't micromanage when everyone's working from home. That's what
it's like. I'm surprised they've got the nerve where it's like, oh well, you can't work from home anymore. The fuck I am.
In fairness, have you seen some of these work from home people? A lot of people took advantage of it. Like, I was watching
productivity in general go up.
If they get the job done though,
let Ryan make his point.
Taking advantage of it since 2013.
It's a Pareto principle thing. The productive people loved it because now that 4-hour commute is now 2 extra hours of work, so they can finally get caught up on stuff, and they still buy themselves 2 hours. Win-win for them. A vast majority of people were day drinking and eating themselves into a fattened. I'm not even joking. The first day that COVID restrictions lifted in Toronto and you go downtown, it was like everybody's suits were fighting. The buttons were fighting to hold on. Everybody had gained like 40 pounds. Jeez. And everybody was drunk. The liquor store was the only thing open here. I watched soccer moms dragging their kids and strollers in there because the strollers could hold more bottles of wine, and they were lit when they walked into there. Most people are not capable of any kind of like self-regulation or self-autonomy at all. And I think a lot of the companies, there's part of like, if it's my company, you better get your ass in here. But a lot of it is too, it's like, no, these people are fucking drunk, retarded children. So I kind of get it. It's got that, we can't have nice things. But then at the same time, if you're at a company that works with a bunch of people that are artards like that, then maybe it's time to find a better option. I think that's going to be the great economic, wasn't that the thing? All the decisions are made on the margins, Clary?
Yeah, all actually is on marginal.
So you're going to get, I bet you anything, you're going to see a brain drain where all of these companies mandating back to work. Anybody who's worth it will go work for a company that has work from home, and they'll hire them because they're good people. And then the ones that don't have a choice will just sit there and complain with a 40-minute commute 4 times a day.
That's what I noticed about this girl, when it's like, oh, I have to commute an hour, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you read the job application, right? Yeah. Like, it's in there that you need to work in the office. Right?
It looks so fun on Sex in the City.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you apply for a job that allows you to work from home?
Honestly, I think a lot of people don't realize that you can't. Well, they should be able to realize it now because everyone's been able to for the last
that word
3 years. Whatever. But I didn't realize I could work from home until I asked to do it. This was like 2013. You know.
Oh wow.
My now ex-wife wanted to move back to Colorado because that was a part of her exit strategy. And she was like, hey, why don't you ask them if you can work from home remotely? And I was like, oh, never thought about that. Asked them, and they're like, yeah, we'll try it out for a 90-day probationary period. I've been doing it this whole time since. So
nice.
Well, like sometimes you just gotta ask and show them that it can be done, and then they're cool with it.
Now Fitch has a great point. I am sympathetic with her to, like, moving in or telecommuting. Like, why should I don't Bob. Okay, so I get that. But Fitch, you got a good point there where how do you think they sold her job to her, like what would it be like when she grew up and finally, I bet you she went into the office, all of a sudden found out it wasn't drinking espressos and saving little minority people's lives and being a good little white girl. All of a sudden there's like skullduggery and boredom and spreadsheets and all that. And it just took the piss out. Like, think of this. Okay. And now this is where I'm a little sympathetic. Ever since 5 years old, this girl and other Gen Zers have had their metaphorical dick sucked about just how great they are and what their future is going to be. And then they graduate, and it's like that's the peak of their life. Like the majority of people of under 40, their peaks of their lives were their college graduation parties. And then it just goes all downhill and shit from there. And now all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, this is my life. Guarantee she made it like maybe a week. Actually, it did, none of which was promised to her came true. And now she's just like, oh my God, we're not drinking espresso. Like, remember those the Twitter videos? Or maybe the girls were doing like, oh my goodness. Okay, so here's a day in my life of working at Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that kind. I'm wondering how much she thought was going to be like that, and it wasn't.
I mean, it could be if she had the right attitude about it.
Can I just say, I've seen women cry for less. Like, we're sitting here like she's really devastated, but I've seen women cry like that for way less. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Tough
Also true.
shit. Absolute tough shit, ladies. You get this, you're getting it shoved up your ass. Cry yourselves. Don't
No
care.
lube, no announcement.
No.
Just straight in there.
You asked for this. I mean, that's one of the obvious.
You wanted.
Absolutely. And not only that, I love it. I love watching it. Like, good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're crying. I'm glad you're in pain.
Love shoving things up girls'
Have to
asses.
listen to all these whiny women. Like, all right, here it is, bitch. Reality.
Such a
Pow,
Tom
right in
Hanks
the
moment. There's no crying in baseball.
Oh, these are always the best shows.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
Hey, man, she's going to learn sometime, right? Might as well be now.
Yeah, no,
From
well,
Eric.
okay, was she lied to? Yes. Did she have smoke blown up her dirt chute? Sure. All right. Is that every generation? Yeah, probably everyone right now. Does that change anything?
Nope.
No.
No. And she's still going to have to work, right?
True.
Well, she can marry a rich dude. That's always an
I
option.
guarantee she's looking at them now.
yeah.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
looking hard at those rich guys. You know what I
But
mean?
when you look at this, because funnily enough, I did a show on this too, and I asked myself, like, what can guys from the Zoomer generation learn from this? And the first one was, if you apply for a goddamn job, look in the description if it says work from home or commute. That's number one. That's just the big one right there. And she mentioned, like, I don't have time to go to the gym. Lady, ever heard of time management? If you have to commute, why not find a gym at the city you're working in so you can save some time there? Like, don't have time to cook. Ever heard of meal prep?
Oh, yeah, there's solutions for everything. You're right, Jack. And even just, like, picking the place to live. A lot of people, I remember there was this one guy asking me about this, and he's like, but if I live close to work, I'll have, like, no extra money. And it's like, it's your first job. You're not going to have a surplus. That's fine. You're paycheck to paycheck. When you start, that's when it's supposed to be. But that 5-minute walk to work is way better than the hour because you save $20 living in the suburbs.
Did you
A lot
guys
of times they don't think through the day-to-day.
It was a similar video, but there was the marketing major girl sitting in her SUV that looked fancier than any house I've ever lived in. And she had
I've got a problem with America.
That was it her?
Yeah, it was her. Where she was in the serving industry, serving sushi.
Sushi, yes. Do you remember how much she wanted?
Yeah.
For money? Guess how much she was expecting to make fresh out of
figures.
cups?
$250,000, I think.
Half $150,000 to $250,000. And let me ask you guys this: do you think it's authentic? Or do you think they're LARPing to get attention here? Like, oh my goodness, drama, subscribe.
No, I think a lot of people have absolutely no concept of money and what money is and what numbers are. And it's such a debt enriched like environment. We are a bunch of fake rich people. It used to be 20 years ago, you drove a Mercedes. It was because you had money. You had a good job. Nowadays, because you got an ass load of debt.
I mean,
Put everything on credit cards.
Fitch, because like the video Cappy mentioned, that girl had a fancier car than any of us ever drove in. Well, I don't know about Fitch though, but like a lot of us ever drove in. But how does that work again with those car loans in the States? Because there's some fuckery going on there.
Oh yeah.
Where
Oh yeah, you can get like a
That's-
20% interest loan, and they spread the payments out for 10
It's like
years.
$1,200 a month car payment. That's crazy.
Yeah, and you're just like in perpetual debt with.
You're taking it in the
that
pooper,
stuff.
Jack.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Like I'm in Europe. We don't do car loans.
There's
No.
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet she had, you know, a revelation looking at her numbers too, because she probably has school debt out the ass. She probably has car
Right.
She
loan.
had 80,000
Now
in
she's got
school debt.
her apartment. Now she's paying for gas and food, and she's like, "Holy crap!" I was like, I'm saving $1 a month. Like that's got to be awful. That's got to be awful.
And then add on top of it, she gets her degree, probably graduated with honors. She did follow what her parents and society told her, but she
Everybody
majored in
applauded her.
marketing, and now she's working as a sushi server, not even a chef. That would indicate some skill or human value. She's truly a worthless person, and it reflects in her wage. And now she's hopeless.
But this isn't only the girls, by the way. Like I have these, like I've got the warehouse jobs every now and then, right? And there's some couple of guys who get in there who are still in college, and then you start talking a bit. It's like, what are you studying? What are you going to college for? Entrepreneurship. It's like, what are you entrepreneuring in? Oh, I don't know yet. It's like,
You don't need to go to school to do that.
I was gonna
it's
say.
like, what? Or it's like commercial marketing, or whatever. It's like
A new way of saying I'm unemployed.
This kind of all this
entrepreneur.
kind of reminds me of those people that want paid internships, right? They complain that the job description says you need to have 5 years of experience, and then they're like, well, how do I get experience? Fucking internships. But
I
they're
do
not
agree
paid.
with the
It's
paid
like,
internships though, where it's like
that's not the point of an internship. The point of the internship is to get the experience, to get the money. You know, it sucks, but it's a part of the grind. You know,
I don't know.
you fucking Xenial.
My millennial is showing. I got this from Cappy, where it's like, no, you're being a slave. You're not getting paid, and you're trading in time.
There needs to be a better system than the internship.
There are paid internships, but sometimes there's not. And but the value is the experience.
Here's I'll tell you how it is, because I'm right about everything. If you're not getting paid for the internship, you're in the wrong field. Like, she's in marketing. Okay, get the fuck out of here with that. Just get the fuck entrepreneurship. Okay, get the fuck out of here with that too. Most of my engineering buddies and computer science, all that, you know, people smarter than me, they were getting paid. Maybe not a lot, but they were getting paid because the companies were like, they weren't just thinking, oh, we have this 6-month project for some low level intern to do. They were more like, let's see who's out there and start recruiting for talent more long term.
Yeah.
And the book I'm writing now, I had to update the figures on what people are made. 80% of the degrees being offered are worthless. So I think this generation and the generation before even mine as well, 80% of these people are not getting paid internships. That's the fundamental problems, that they're in the wrong field. But that still doesn't change the fact, again, adding to the lies and the misinformation. I got my internship. I did it right. I got good grades. And why am I not making 6 figs with my entrepreneurship degree?
Even with the internship, you're not going to make 6 figures right out of college.
Well, right.
You're just fucking not.
Yeah. It's like
Unpaid internships are a weird filtering thing too. You know, you guys hate journalists, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we all.
They do unpaid internships. The problem with that is then the only people who can afford to take that are rich kids, because their parents have already paid for everything. And so when you do unpaid internships, you kind of almost filter for trust fund babies. And that kind of creates its own economic problem. So I agree. Paid internships are a requirement if you want to have a meritocratic filtering process. I think it's kind of vital. And the one thing and about this girl, then the crying and like the not putting up with it, here's the problem with women. Guys, you put, like, John, everybody's got the story of, I had to live in a basement that had like a sewage problem. I ate ramen every day, and that hardship kind of lights a fire under your ass, right? Your paycheck to paycheck. It's your first apartment. You're getting laid on a milk crate. You don't care. Guys take this stuff and they use it and they feel it, and it makes them better people. It hardens them. Women don't often do that. Like some do, but what a lot of women do, and this is a great example from marriages, when a guy puts his wife in a situation that she can't handle, you would think that the hardship would light a fire in her ass and get her to step up to the challenge. No, girls tend to just fail, but then they fail on purpose. So now it's not my fault because that worry of rejection. Like if I do something and it's not good enough, then I'm bad as a person. And that taps into that whole caveman fight or flight, you're exiled from the tribe thing. And that's kind of the problem with this. Like as a guy in that situation, he'll probably use that to make sure he never gets in that situation again. She probably either learn to suffer and put up with it or just break down and be that girl that fails 5 or 6 jobs and ends up having a dating profile that Clary and Rich Cooper are making fun of next week, you know?
Well, that's that's my point. There is no we might as well bring it up now.
Yay!
These girls are going to need men to bail them out because if it's not girls, it has to be men. But this is not the 1950s anymore. There's now a cost and a consequence for these girls LARPing as adults, being girl boss and look out, here I come and all that, loading up with a ton of debt. And a lot, and thanks to people like us and the internet, like, here's some problems. Don't go ahead and do this. So where's that going to lead? I mean, because in my estimation, you're going to have, you think Gen X women are spinsters now. Wait till you see the millennial women when they start turning 60. Wait till you see the Gen Z girls when they're 60. There's not going to be any guys to save them. I mean, paint me the picture on that one, because I have a oil canvas painting in mind. What do you guys see?
No, I'm out in California, so I feel like they're a little bit ahead of the degeneracy and decay. And you go out and you go around, and man, there's certain places where they're older women, they're 35 plus women out at the bar, and it's a lot of spinsters, really overly aggressive, very masculine, obese, tatted up. Just it's a nightmare.
Jesus.
I want to stay home. I don't even want to go out.
I'm not even talking about the dating. Forget the bars. I'm imagining 30 years from now, okay? These young ladies are now squarely in their 50s. I'm even thinking, can you even afford rent?
Oh,
They're not gonna say, hey, wait, as Ryan pointed out, they're not gonna say, hey, wait a minute, I majored in the wrong thing. It's time for me to man up. I think they simply lack the empiricism, and they're definitely afraid of real work. So they will go and they will double down, master's degree, doctorate. They'll try their selling trinkets, bauble shop pyramid scheme. They'll go and they'll do anything but do the fucking math and learn the code. And so by the time they're 55, government housing, Section 8 are serious. What's it going to look like 30 years from now?
Government is going to pander to those votes hard.
I know, but what lifestyle are they all going to, like Fitch, are they all going to look like they're a bunch of homeless bag ladies in San Francisco pooping in the streets? What are we looking at?
They'll put them in the FEMA camps with the robot dogs and the migrants.
There it is. There it is. It's survival of the fittest, you know? That's what it is.
No,
I guess we truly reached equality.
Yeah, they're going to live the same way they're going to do now, paycheck to paycheck, because they have put themselves in slavery. Debt is slavery at that level.
There's going to be some chicks that level up. There's going to be some chicks that marry rich dudes, and then there's going to be some chicks in poverty. That's what's going to be.
Right.
It's just
and
life.
the curve's shifting, so there's going to be more in the poverty side.
Do you think the pain will be so bad that women will start to look? I know some women will look to men. Things will get so bad, but do you think that might become the new trend where, oh my God? I mean, think about
I'm already starting to see that in some of these TikTok videos. These chicks are realizing that the feminism was a lie and that they could have just not worked.
That's pandering, though.
You think so?
I think.
Well,
so.
I wonder, but do you think there would be a trend going forward where there's at least a pressure or a force that would push some women to start looking at men and like, oh shit, this 9-to-5 thing, I didn't like this. Maybe I will show up and make the damn cookies.
We've discussed before that, but women have a new man. It's the government, right? So they have. I think it's gonna be a hard push towards their new man, the government, taking care of everything. That's why
until the dollar collapses.
Thank you, Paul. That was. Right. Look at this right now. And Ryan, especially up in Canada, the number one expense on everyone's budget is what?
Healthcare up here.
no. You guys get free healthcare. I'm talking
Housing?
the individual housing.
Mortgage.
Lodging is your number one expense, and we're starting to have it now. You're starting to see everyone. Oh my God, I can't afford housing. I'm like, well, that's called inflation. You printed off money and you didn't build more housing. This is how and you imported a bunch of immigrants. This is how it works. It's fine. These girls get a government check, but have you seen someone who lives on the government dole? They ain't getting their $150,000 a year living in the McMansions, mixed suburbs, Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
They're going to be able to buy their iPhones with their EBT card.
They're getting 1-bedroom apartments.
It's going to get pushed that way. I think so.
Live in the pod.
Well,
they're getting really cheap 1-bedroom apartments, and maybe 2-bedroom apartments if they have 7 kids. But
outside the city, 2-hour commute. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's an issue of pain tolerance. Rollo, what was the quote? Women hate beta males so much they go into debt, go to school for 8 years, and work a 60-hour week, something like that.
Twitter
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a life of Section 8 housing and poverty and at best lower middle income life without having to suck a dick. I guess maybe that's better. Is it?
Well, I mean, Twitter has been full of that lately, where some pudgy mid guy is being posted with a scruffy beard, and all these women underneath his photo go like, "I would rather work the fields than be stuck with this guy."
Claire, you might remember this. Was it Tony Sotomayor, or was it Donovan, or maybe Roosh was saying that Black America is white America 10 years in the future?
I don't remember that, but he's right. Yeah, I say 20, but yeah, the point still
I think
stands.
If you want to see where this goes, just look at the ghetto parts of America right now and see how those ratchet ass hoes are acting. You're going to see middle American Midwesterners probably like that in about a decade, unless something changes.
Brilliant point. We already have our answer. I mean, as a proxy, as a canary in the coal mine, we could kind of see that's horrible.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't wish it.
So, man, women don't like. They really don't like guys. This is.
They'll be sitting there giving the list of the 100 restaurants they refuse to eat at for a date.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Or that meme, how they had acted in the apocalypse, and it's always girls picturing themselves as like the Hunger Games. And then what actually happens is just a bunch of Puerto Rican streetwalkers.
Yep.
You're going to see a lot of that stuff, man. What do they call it? The Brazilification of America?
Venezuela.
The Venezuelan.
Fans now, but it's, yeah.
Not even having a hook. Dude, they really phone in everything, don't they?
Instagram.
I'm not going to hook. I'll just do it for the webcam. I don't want to commute.
Yeah. They're phoning it in their prostitution, too. That's hilarious.
I'm such a monster.
I'm looking at the guy's response to this.
Oh, there's plenty of guys that'll save those women.
Do you think there is?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So?
There's always a guy that'll go out there.
You just have to smile at him and pretend to be nice to him, and he'll buy.
Wars aren't taking guys out, so we got an excess, a surplus, an economic surplus of simps.
We may have 2 wars coming.
I mean,
we won't.
There was a guy that was he went and he was Ubering. And he picked up Nurse Chick. Nurse Chick dropped her car off to get fixed, and so she took an Uber. And this guy was bragging about how he moved out to Colorado and became an Insta dad. And now that his wife that was a single mom, and now he's a dad because she already had a kid. Now she wants to adopt, and he's all excited about it. I'm like, dude,
it's a story as old as time. This is Michael's story. Not only will I have my cake and eat it too, I will have it with sprinkles, and
they will have it with sprinkles because there's always going to be a dude that will bail them out.
There will always be a dude who bails them out.
On a micro level, on an individual level, yes, I believe there will be a simp. My question is, Gen Z boys, will they have the financial resources to do so?
No,
because pick on this girl as much as we want. Oh, by the way, just for my audience, I want to hear you whiny little quants bitching and whining like, it's hard to find a job. They're just as whiny and bitchy as this girl. And I'm looking, a lot of my audiences or my clients is I get kids, young men predominantly come in, and my parents screwed me up. They didn't know how do I do it. But at least there's a desire to improve and do what's right and succeed. I get these whiny little bitchy ass socialist pussies. We don't have enough money if we hit UBI. Get the fuck out of my comment section and unsubscribe. The amount of simping or design, but not, are you guys going to go work? Are the Gen Z boys going to stop looking at the freaking navel and go get what the fuck is your name? Jack. The pussies in your warehouse job. I'm an entrepreneur, man. These guys aren't going to have the money to bail these girls out.
No, and I mean, if you look at their spending habits, because of course they talk, it's like as soon as they get money, they spend money. Like saving is a foreign concept. Like,
saving for what though? The house that they can't afford and they'll never be able to?
Did you guys see that video of the girl math where she's like, if it's 50% off, I have to buy it because once I buy it, that means I save $50.
Like, dude, there's a whole podcast on it. Some of their stuff is amazing. Like that, they talked them into a $5,000 dress, basically saying you'll make money by buying this. And I was like, it was pretty impressive. It was impressive.
Wait, explain that to me. There's like
girl math. Yeah, it's like these New Zealand chicks, and they run a podcast, and they have one normal guy on there just to act shocked.
Yeah.
And so a girl calls in, it's like, yeah, I want to buy this $2,000 dress, but I don't know if I can afford it. And they go, okay. And then like, well, how many times are you going to wear it? That's $250 a wear. And then if you sell it again later on consignment, it's probably worth $1,000. So you do this. And they do a whole bunch of little like word games and play games until it's like, then at the end, it's like, well, basically every time you wear this, you're making $50. So you better buy it. And then they'll turn to the guy. He's like, what the? I've been wearing the same shirt from Mark's Work Warehouse since 1986. What is wrong with you bitches? It's hilarious, but it's tragic.
I want to listen to that. What's it called?
Girl math or girl maths, plural.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh. I'll try one. I'll try one episode.
It's the angriest laugh you'll ever have.
Oh, those are the good ones. But yeah, Cappy, I mean, like I mentioned, commercial economics, entrepreneurship, have no idea what they want to entrepreneur. And I'm like, hey, I've got my own business. I never went to entrepreneuring school. I learned a trade. I learned a skill. And I started marketing that. That's entrepreneurship. I never use the word because it's cringy as hell, but like that's how you do it. You can't entrepreneur something if you can't do anything. Just an entrepreneur is nothing.
Yeah.
Which makes my point. And I hate to pay you a compliment, Jack. It really hurts me. I'm gonna have to like go get.
But I'm the best you've got.
Well, no, there was this homeless guy. There's a homeless guy down the street. I think he's better than you. But
just
anyway,
narrate your books.
No, not yet.
On time.
He's missing the teeth. But shit. What the? Oh, I was gonna say, you are exceptional for your generation. You support yourself. You're not a bitch. You're not in my comment section. You'll be all right. There's not enough of you to go around, either on the individual level or on the macro level, to pay the taxes required to bail these girls out.
Taxes?
Mm-hmm. Well, but a girl like that, or the girl in marketing, or just I'm gonna say, I hate to say this, but the data backs it up. As a group, women in general are dependent upon men. Men are net taxpayers. Women are net tax consumers. But if they're not going to die, they're either going to get it through the government, through taxation, where productive women and productive men are going to be taxed, and it goes into the coffers to then pay for the Section 8 housing, or it's going to be a direct transaction through simps and OnlyFans, and maybe a distant tertiary source of support would be marriage. But my point is, there's not enough. Oh, we got someone in the audience here. There's not enough. What's up, Paul? There's not enough productive men like you to either support the individual woman or as a group to pay enough taxes to provide this increasing percent of women who can't support themselves.
This just goes to the same, the concept that the like 100% of women are going for the same, like the top, 20 or 10%, whatever, whoever has the podcast this day, whatever number they throw out. But all the women are going for the same top tier of guys because there's only a small percentage of guys that are willing to do the fucking work, So Jack's in that percentage because he's willing to do the work. And so all these chicks are going to clamor to get to a guy like Jack to take care of them.
But I don't think it's a case of guys can't afford it either. Taxes are fundamentally different. People still think of them as this thing where you put money into a pot and the government doles it out. That's not kind of how it works in a modern economy. And granted, Canada is barely an economy, but I get it. Taxes are how they take money out of an economy. Social, like government spending, is how they put money into the economy. Right. So it's really just playing games with inflation taxes. And we're all paying the inflation tax. It's a hidden tax that you don't ever see, and that's why nobody's mad about it. Like in Canada, from the first year COVID stimmy checks, everybody took essentially an 18% pay cut of their net worth or spending power. So we all paid 18% of our income in taxes in 2021 from COVID. We didn't see it on a tax bill. We didn't see it anything. It's just because they inflated the income supply. And now, because we have so much inflation, they're having to raise taxes to remove money from the inflation supply. Now everybody's mad because everything's expensive. And that's kind of the situation we're going to be with girls. They don't need guys to afford to pay for it. We're just going to continue to devalue the currency. And what politician wouldn't? Do you want to be the one left at that game of musical chairs going, we're going to have some... what do they call that? What do they do in Europe? Where they we're gonna have to have some austerity now.
I'd be that politician. I'd be president.
They would boot you so
wouldn't
fast.
Get elected again, but it'd be good.
You thought Trump got the stick up the ass? Oh man,
I would love to punish Americans. I'd be like,
Happy that TikTok video. I put it in the private chat.
Private chat. Let me pull this up here.
It's hard to win elections, Cappy, without promising beer and drinking fountains and shit.
Well, yeah, people are stupid. So. Just look at marketing nowadays, right?
Yeah.
I like the BCGs, Ryan. Do you know the BCG reference?
I don't actually.
Birth control glasses.
That's an American. That's an American military
glasses.
If anything, I thought the kilt would be the birth control suit here. Basically, wearing a dress.
Let me
They look good
up
though, for real.
Thank you.
Girl math.
It's like a vasectomy on your face.
That's an old term for the glasses they used to issue, and they kind of look like the old issue glasses, actually.
I like it. I call them the 1980 Clark Kents.
Yeah.
All right.
They're in style now, man. They look cool.
Let's play this here. Let's see what Fish
There's
said.
lots of things that I firmly believe because of girl math. Anything under $5 is free. Anything I buy with a gift card is free. If I buy something but then I return it, I've made money. Going to an event or a concert is free because I purchased the tickets so long ago it doesn't even count. I load my Starbucks app in advance, so Starbucks is free. Anything discounted more than 50% is free, and I am losing money by not getting it. If I'm paying someone back for dinner and I have money in Venmo, that dinner is free. If I don't buy something, if I don't buy a pair of shorts for $50, I've made $50 and I can then go spend $50 on something else. Okay, this one's a little bit weird, but my husband and I share credit cards and a bank account, but somehow every time that he puts down his card with his name on it, that's free and he paid.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lost some.
This is why I make the financial decisions in the house.
This is why if you're dating too, you keep fucking finances separate. You know what? You got your own fucking money. I got my own money.
You're married, you keep your finances separate. You never commingle funds. What?
Married? Yep. What?
Ah.
Who would fucking do that? That's a terrible idea.
Why are we talking about dinosaurs?
But you know what the weird thing is? She's serious. I've seen girls do this.
Yeah.
It's this is real.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the one where the girl said she paid cash for something and it didn't count because she wasn't using her credit card, so it was not debt, so it's free?
Yeah, that girl was saying she buys her stuff from Starbucks ahead of time, so when she gets there, it's free.
Yeah.
Let's do a concert. She bought a concert. She bought the tickets months ago.
So long ago, it doesn't count.
Free.
This is also why body count doesn't matter, right? Because chicks they do this fucking mental gymnastics. Oh, that didn't count. That didn't.
Well, now you know why.
He was only 3/4 of the way in,
now, right? Because all the consumerism and all of the advertising goes to women because they're gonna spend the money on stuff. That's why we have a feminine social order. That is just the individual representation on a video of what that looks like.
I mean, women do spend the most money, but that's also why they're the most pandered to, other than the thing between their legs.
Oh yeah, why try to appeal to somebody who doesn't buy shit? That'd be stupid.
That's why the really successful dating coaches market to women.
What is
true? This is why I struggle every day.
We're trying to talk to men, and men are like, "No, we got this. We got to figure it out.
You don't need to market to me."
Yeah. We watch the YouTube content, go apply this shit, and we don't need you. Yeah.
Hey, is that the real Rolo in the chat? Or is this again
do we have a Rolo in the chat?
I don't know. Do we?
Rolo.
I can't tell. Clary'd have to give me a wrench.
I'll check because he gave me a wrench. He doesn't remember how.
I don't
but
remember
have it.
how.
Wow, he loves you so much. He gave you a wrench.
Yeah.
He gave you a
Like I
compliment.
said, he's better than the toothless hobo down.
Yeah, he
at
said
the
you were
street.
marginally better than that toothless hobo.
Yeah.
At least until he hires him for the voice acting that he said he was going to do.
Jack could put that marginally better than toothless hobo on his
Marginally
resume.
better.
Marginally. Everything's at the margin, Jack. Everything's at the margin.
Still top 20%. Told you it's not hard. It's
Yeah.
not hard to get there.
What
I don't
did
feel like it's a real one.
Yeah, it's not
Just,
the real one.
based on the language patterns there.
Well, I guess
he did say Pearl is a hack. I mean, that is,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's
I
just
he would
taking
say.
things that he's just taking sound bites. Rolla doesn't really sound bite on his comments like that.
I guess one final point I do want to bring about, and you guys kind of hit it with that girl. Oh, it really isn't. I'm making money, and it's not really spending money. How much do you think? There's the marketing girl, and I looked her up, and she actually has like this workout channel. Then there's Miss Crying Twiddly Winks. Oh my God, 9 to 5 is so hard. I didn't look to follow up, but she's a cute little blonde number. And then Rich Cooper tweeted out just the latest version of this gal, very pretty blonde with the nose piercing and tattoos and all that. How much of this do you think is actually sincere versus how much of this is just girls trying to boost their internet website, get rich quick stream, versus how many maybe it's a bit of both because they actually are crying and they
35,
actually believe
65.
But that's kind of what I meant
35,
with.
65.
That's kind of what I meant with.
Yeah.
I've seen women cry for less. I was like, Fitch, you've brought this up a couple of times. Every month, around the same time, huge argument. What happens if you don't say anything and just let her ramble? The next day, doesn't know anything. Did I yell at you?
I'm sorry that upset you. I'm sorry.
Hey, question for you guys: have you ever seen a girl cry and she didn't know why?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most amazing thing to watch.
When she keeps changing the reason.
Oh
Have you ever
yeah,
had
yeah.
that? I'm upset about this, and then you explain logically why that's silly, and then she's like, "Well, then you did this." She just has to keep moving the goalpost.
Well, you can't explain it to them. It's all emotions, and you just gotta be like, "You're so cute."
All right, so it's women.
35, 65 is what I was saying. So
okay, Paul.
I think it's like 65% just clout chasing. I think that if there wasn't like people wanting to simp for them and reward them with views and likes and all those things, I don't think that they would be as leaned into that kind of mental format, right? But I think that there's some truth to it too. I mean, I've seen girls like that. We've always seen all seen girls like that. But if like the social response was really negative and she didn't get a lot of views or likes, if she was ignored for those TikToks, right? Then I don't think we would see it as hard. We see it as hard as it is because, people are either outraged and they repost it and comment on it, bitch at it and start an argument, or, people like whatever, you go girl or whatever the fuck, simp for. So
But yeah,
it's
it
the
resonates.
attention, I feel like it is the real reason why we see a lot more of that. Not that women don't have that mindset, because a lot of them do, right?
So they are getting something out of it. They're getting attention right off the bat.
Which is the key, that's the currency, really, right?
Right. And then on top of it, they're getting links, come to my site or go to my Instagram or whatever. And then no doubt, I don't know if you guys, have you ever heard of Taylor the Fiend?
I've heard of him.
I was trying for the longest time to figure out, it was almost like a product. I'm like, it's a unique channel, and all he does is take up washed up hewers from TikTok, splice them in, and they're all complaining about men and they can't find men. And I got
500,000 subs.
Dude,
he's not unique. There's Ribby the Frog. There's Undead Chronic. It's like literally a format.
Okay, but while that is a format, the women that they edit and splice and put the videos they respond to are also formulaic, because it took me a while to figure it out, but they're all reasonably good looking or better.
Yeah.
They're, oh my God, my boy troubles. And then you go to their site, you actually find out who that person was. You find their site. It's all, here's my Cash App. Here's my Venmo.
Yeah.
And it's genius on the part of these gals, where I can't find a man on a
It's
damsel
one
in
step
distress.
below OnlyFans.
Well, it's right. Remember the AI TikToks? The ice cream,
Well,
yum. It's that.
Yes. Well, let me
It's just that
remind
guy.
everyone too, like women to a fault sometimes are very pragmatic when it comes down to strategy. And so they're, I'm dumb about money. Ha ha ha. That's a pragmatic thing. That works in their favor. That gets guys to pay for shit. That gets things to work to their advantage. Now, you watch that situation flip with other women who are actually paying for their own shit. Well, all of us, they're better at budgeting than a lot of guys I know when it comes to their money, when it comes to their stuff. Then I watch that same girl get married, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to buy a weird thing and spend a bunch of money. And, it's very pragmatic. It really is.
Isn't this from practical female psychology, where it's like they vet for the kind of guy who is good with money?
Yeah.
Fuck, Ryan, you know this.
They'll save you if you act weak. That's what they do. They act weak in the way that they want the guy. If they want a strong guy, they act like they're always physically in trouble and need help.
Here,
financially, same thing.
Ryan nailed it. I don't know if you guys read this. I did a little bit of research here.
And it works.
Well, it's called The Biological Origins of Damseling. And just bear with me while I read through it, but it nails it. Damseling is a biologically based behavior that's as old as the human race. Technically speaking, the behavior we refer to as damseling refers to any human being who announces its vulnerability to others, to husband, family, friends, strangers, or to one's tribe. The announcement of vulnerability stimulates a neurological system in the brain of observers, thereby eliciting reflexes of protection, caretaking, and nurturance typically reserved for vulnerable children and infants.
Those observers being men, by the way. So I've been saying, I've had this on repeat on my channels and stuff and platforms, is that we do have an instinct, which is to take care of the baby maker as men. It's what gets us in trouble. Like there's we have a, the instinct to spread seed and all that stuff as guys, right? We're not hypergamous. We want to spread seed, but what causes us to, what triggers our, bonding mechanisms in our brain is being able to take care of that baby maker, because evolutionarily speaking, we take care of the baby maker. She's less likely to let the kids die in the woods so she can go off with Tyrone's tribe, or, whatever it is that happens, right? Or cuck us and those things that happen. So she's more likely to take care of her offspring if we're taking care of the baby maker. And that is what this all amounts to. And it's interesting when we look at what girl strategy, like being that strong, independent woman, is the exact strategy that gets them not what they want in the sexual marketplace. If they would do the opposite of that, guys would be attracted to them and want to take care of them, and they would have guys of higher value wanting to do that. So it's just an interesting thing to watch how, because we want that polarity. It's not that I want my girlfriend to be helpless or whatever, but
feels important when you fix her.
I don't know, man. It's like, I don't mind that she's a little bit of a girl about stuff, right? Because she's a girl, and that's what I'm attracted to. If she showed up and was like, hey, let's sit down and do a fucking spreadsheet and look at my dick.
Hey, send her my way. That's my kind of gal.
Whoa.
Cappy, we know you're gay, okay?
I'm sending you to Cappy.
Cappy gets turned on by spreadsheets. He's like, oh shit.
I'm gonna brag about my girlfriend. She has her own damn house. She has a job. She makes more money than me. She doesn't need me. And
his name is Derek.
His name is Derek, and he's a toothless hobo down over on the corner. But I don't know. There's like a lot less problems. There's still the occasional times of like she'll start crying, and I've literally said, "What the fuck are you crying now for?" Because I'm a nice, warm guy. But we have it. It works. It works.
Yeah.
It's love.
It's praxeology of the dominant male. She doesn't need you, but she wants you. That's luxury branding. It's how you have to work nowadays.
Derek, my homeless girlfriend.
Yeah.
and that's good. And I would say that guys need to move more in that direction rather than having a need to take care of a helpless person, for sure. If we're talking about extremes, but as far as, girl game and attracting a guy, acting like you're more capable and better than a guy, well, it doesn't really work.
That's a deterrent.
That's the thing that a lot of guys I hear complain about. Right? They want the girl to need them, right? and you hear the girls, I don't need a man, I want a man, and guys are like, but I want her to need me. That's a good way to get used. You know how I know?
Yes. Yeah, that's not
Right,
good.
okay.
Right.
But
That's
then,
not
but
the way to think.
not only on an individual basis, like Paul, you getting married and guys having an individual relationship with a woman, but your time is very precious and short. And you look at this gal or the marketing gal, or I think it's damseling, and they shouldn't be taken seriously. Is there a seed or a kernel of truth to like, oh my God, I'm really having a hard time, like Paul said, 35%, but 65%, I think it's just a money-making operation. And I would even say it's not even subconscious. I think they consciously know it, and just wink, wink, nod, nod. Let me turn on the waterworks. And so for the guys out there going, I would just ignore it. Like people say, did you see this? Did you see this? I kind of want to get to the point where it's like, yeah, but it's bullshit. You know that? It's theater. So let's move on to something, more important and real.
That's Esther Villar even. Like, if men only knew the cold and calculating thoughts behind a woman's tears. It's a bit of a dark quote, but it's kind of true. I had one. I have an ex who her mom was an absolute disaster, absolute fucking mess. I mean, we've already lost the monetization, so
let me go ahead, Jack. I'm gonna excuse myself. Hit the can.
Okay, no, that's okay. But what was it? An absolute mess, and I've already been through that once with my own mom, and I was like, honey, I would love to make this work, but I don't trust your mom for X, Y, and Z reasons, and I just don't want to go there. And she started crying, and I don't know why, because this was even before I've read Rollo's work or whatever, but I just looked at her, and I'm like, you crying will not make me trust her more, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way of sort of vetting women, though, is looking at their relationship with their mom, how their mom acts and stuff, and then does she match those patterns of her mom? It's like,
she stopped crying immediately. I was just like, yo, look, you can cry, but that will not make me trust her more, kind of thing. I mean, she still ended up a single divorced mom, but I was like, I got out of it. And I turned out to be right. But it's that pandering behavior. Have any of you ever been there where like you get a new girlfriend or whatever, or you meet somebody new and they pander just a little bit too much to you?
Oh, sure.
Or it's like, I don't trust this. It's like, no. It's like, that was kind of
people do that kind of stuff, especially like the first 6 months to a year in a relationship. They are really on their best behavior. They're doing the pandering thing. It eventually comes out how they really are. You just gotta take a step back and just keep an eye on things.
One final question. We'll round it up here because I got super chats to do. I'm sure you guys all got to get going.
KFC.
Some of us have lives, unlike Jack, whose peak is going to be KFC this week.
Hey, that's a good peak.
Do you think? Oh, here, Ryan's back with his Canadian internet. Do you think women, or not women, but feminists going forward are going to have a more and more difficult time of defending feminism? Because if we're raising generations, male or female, but in this particular case, female, Gen Z, where you're just truly, if we're to take you at face value, you're truly a worthless, incompetent child. And you got all this girl boss, and look how and all of a sudden it comes to it, and like, I'm a helpless little. How do you defend this? How do you convince that? Oh yeah, let us come to bat. Let us participate in society.
Oh, that's 20 years too late. Feminism already won. It's over.
Yeah,
but asking people to talk about feminism is like asking a fish about water. It's pervasive.
The PR battle.
Things trend. I don't think it's going to continue to. I think that eventually, I think it's going to oscillate back and forth in different cultures as needs arise. When things get more comfortable, feminism is going to be winning. But when things get less comfortable and start falling apart in areas,
damsel in distress.
All of a sudden you have damsel in distress.
I think it's too useful of a tool. Feminism is too useful of a tool. It's always going to be a weapon, and men just aren't strong enough. The majority of men today are not strong enough. We're doing our part in trying to help out, but I don't think the majority of men are strong enough to stand up against the guilt, shame, and insults that feminism throws at them for not giving them their way.
That's all that feminism is. It's a tactic. It's weaponizing the male protective instinct for maximum female benefit. That's literally it. It's not an ideology.
But isn't that
And that'll be
counter to
around forever.
feminism, or at
Always
least
been around.
feminism states.
That's why you have sex positive feminists and the feminists who talk about like 5-wave feminists that are like, it's like trad, except for you're feminist. Like, it's nonsensical. It's completely
running
contradictory.
interference.
Yeah, so all it is I want, and if I weaponize men to get what I want, I'll get it. That's it.
That's why.
What do? They use shame. They appeal to our ego. That's why real men would do this. They appeal to our shame. You know, it's patriarchal if you do this. They appeal to your anger. These incels are why this, that happened, and you're not an incel, so I'll do it. Or they appeal to your ego. It's all it is. It's weaponizing the male protective instinct, and we give it away for free because we're stupid. Stupid.
But are we that stupid anymore? I know you all say there are
like
simps,
we aren't, but
we are.
But as a group of
listening to us
men,
right
especially
now,
now with the internet, like this is not 1985 and we got Rollo technology with them paperbacks and magazines and all that. Men are the information is out there. Guys are shutting down. They're not.
The information of diet is out there. We should know how to be fit, and people know it now. How fat are we?
The always accurate contrarian who is correct again.
I'm not pessimistic. I'm just realistic. I'm looking at what we're doing now. Do you see? We know how to be healthy. We know how to be in shape. We know how to work out. We have all the information we could ever want. Yet we're fat fucks everywhere. Hey. There's videos now out of people that get giant gorging meals of whatever, and they dump KFC. Cheese on it.
Hell, that sounds so good.
An entire baking tray of like fries and burgers and that, and this lady just dumps a bucket of cheese on it.
Talk dirty to me, Ryan. Fuck.
And there was like a 6-year-old kid like, oh, good, it's dinner time.
That's the appetizer.
Jesus.
All right, well, let's round it up.
Baby.
Any final thoughts, and then tell us what you guys got going on. Then I'll give. If you guys want to stick around for the super chats, we will. Jack, go ahead. I know you got KFC going on, but what else do you have to look forward to in your life?
In my life,
yeah,
hanging out with you, of course.
Oh boy!
If the chat wants, they can go to my channel. I'm hosting Post Zero tomorrow. Art Swingers coming on again because we're talking about the dating list. Where you can and can't bring women to, and we're kind of discussing on how this is nothing more than a Christmas list, where girls just want a pony and you pat them on the head, and the whole crying on TikTok thing. It's like the girl said, she was on her period. They're over dramatic. I've seen women cry for less, and stop taking it so damn seriously. They'll be fine. We'll be fine. Don't be an economic escape plan for girls. They can work themselves now. As Ryan always likes to say, you don't have to bring home the bacon. Bacon can be bought for $2.95 at the store. That's
not this inflation.
Okay, $3.99.
Yeah.
Oh.
The first round of edits from my book is back from the editor. The editor wants me to add an extra chapter, so I'm going to write that tomorrow and then send that back to him. Tune into the Dragon Ship right after this. Nuclear Caudillo's hosting for Thor because Thor's on his deathbed. He's
in. Yeah.
And then tune into the podcast Monday. My guest is a young buck coming up in the space named Logan DeWong. He happens to be a 3% brother, and he's been interviewing some of the biggest names in the space, including Rollo and Jay Waller, and fucking Corey Wayne. Dude got an interview with that son bitch. Yeah, I was like, how the fuck did you do that? So that we talk about that on Monday.
Fitch.
Yeah, we're all fucked. The world's burning. And
robot dogs, man.
Robot dogs are on the way. I saw an arrest in Texas where they had a robot dog and a drone walking up to arrest the guy. It was terrifying. But yeah, learn to fight, guys, because it's not going to get any easier out there. And man, up in the Bay Area, there are robberies every day. They're beating up old people. They're taking watches. They're taking bags. They're breaking into your cars. If you are not capable of some level of violence, you're going to get worked. It's ugly out there. And I'm available for coaching. So hit me up. Go to johnfish.net, sign up for the newsletter. Let's stop you being a pussy.
Good. Paul, have you been getting any clients coming from me? Because I keep sending some people that I can't consult to you. Have you gotten any clients?
I've been getting clients. I don't know if they're from you or not necessarily. I haven't asked, they haven't said or I haven't asked that, but I've had those inquiries too though. So thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And, but yeah, just go to, as far as any announcements I got, just go to Apex Mindset, on YouTube, go to Apex Inner Game. I got a free newsletter. And And of course, if you need help with your inner game or mental fitness and resiliency, or dealing with your girl problems, that's what I'm here for. And yes, and buy all of Cappy's books because they're awesome. I have this bookshelf to house any book that
there's another one coming. You got to get a new bookshelf. So Rowdy Piper,
get a bigger bookshelf.
ryanstone.substack.com. Get on there. I have finished book 3. I'm just waiting for Nick to bring it back. And then once it's finished, make some final changes, and then we'll have the book out, hopefully end of the month. Depends on how good the third draft was. Cover design is finished right now. The only thing that's left is some desktop publishing then. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Everything you've ever wanted to know about Dread, the sequel and the finale to Praxeology. It's volume 2, Dread. Everything you wanted to know about a dead, dying relationship and what you can do about it and never be taken granted for again. It's awesome. It really is.
I love the cheerful topics that you have on your books.
You know what? It's got a cheerful ending.
We're going to have
ending, a horrific middle.
But between you, me, and Paul, I think we're going to have 3 books dropping in November. Is that about right, Ryan?
I'm
going to have yours.
I've tried to before Christmas. That's okay. My goal. I'm trying
I will. And I'll say this. Do you know what's nice, Clary? I get it now. My first book, I always had to say like no homo at the beginning, author. And then the second, because it's like, yeah, maybe it's an accident. And then the second book, you're like, all right, I think I can do this. By the third book now, it's like, oh yeah, he's an author. And like I can say that with no hesitation now. So it's like full homo.
All right. Me, you can find me at assoconsulting.com. My book, A World Without Men, is going to be published probably within 2 weeks once Old Man Rollo gets me the cover. And then Jack might actually do the audio for it. And I don't know. And Asshole Consulting is not open until I'm done. Do you guys know how many? It literally says $500 minimum. I'm closed until the book is done. Do you know how many requests I still get?
A lot?
Yeah. Like people don't, they're morons.
But can't you do it behind a paywall?
Look, it's girl math, right? It's not. It's if you pay Cappy, it's not real money. It's
yeah,
monopoly money.
You have been saying $20 is $20. All of a sudden now it's not $20 anymore.
Well, no, it's up to 500. No, I just hate your audience a little bit, as somebody up north used to say. Yeah, that's about all I got in this row. If you guys want to stick around, we'll go through the super chats. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out.
I always like your super chats. They're fun.
So do I. I get money out of
them. But I do have to use the head real quick. So
they could say, Aaron Clare, I hate your guts. I wish you die. But as long as there's $20, it's
$20.
Yeah.
After the book's done.
Yep. Suck duck, $2. Gross, 50% chicken, 50% grease. Yes. Yeah. Alex Patino, our truck driving Latino agent in the field. Cappy, you're missing out in Mexico because you had to pay a deposit for soda bottles. So when I used to buy a soda or juice, it would be served in a bag with a straw and rubber band to tie it. Really? Okay.
I've had that before.
It's such a Mexico thing, man.
I've had it in Vietnam.
Well, I remember making my first $100. It was in Michigan collecting bottles for 10 cents a can. And that was good money in 1983. You know, an 8-year-old in 83 with $100, you're like a king. Nonstop Dre, $5. Cappy is too short to dress up as a mini me for Austin Powers, but so short he can't wear kid-size clothes. We should thank feminism for freeing men. One of these days, you guys might be lucky enough to have Dre in your audience as well. Someday you might be able to have.
He sounds wonderful.
I roll, therefore I am, for 20 generous Canadian dollars. Poor girl, only 24 hours in her day. I have at least 35 or 40 hours a day, but that's probably just my male privilege. Absolutely 100% correct. Whether it's theater or not, I really hope in Minecraft she gets hit by a truck. I have absolutely no feels or sorriness for her. Lopala's $10, small token for what I owe you for 2.5 years of red pill transformation of my life. I started an LLC, owned 6 rental properties, and got 3 raises at my job. My wife has competition dread too. Man, Ryan, sounds like you read your book.
Smart man.
Yeah. Nonstop Dre again, $2. But Cappy, they say women are strong and independent. Well, that goes back to my original point. I don't know how the more and more train wrecks like this, I don't know how feminism is going to be able to defend itself. I know it might do its feminist, hypocritical, cake and eat it too jujitsu, But for the PR, for the rest of the world to see it, they're just gonna be like, yeah, that feminism thing was a cute little experiment for those 50 years. Siege D, $5. The benefit of TikTok. Women complain on there, and it may persuade younger ones to not go to college, get in debt, sleep with a bunch of guys, etc.
I was like, seriously,
they're still gonna sleep with a bunch of guys.
Seriously, go watch that new South Park special. There's a great skit in there with Randy March. Like, Shelly, I want you to spend as less time on school as possible and just go to one of these bums who've learned a trade, and they might offer you an internship.
Is that the one with Kathleen Kennedy and Rock? Okay. I'm so glad. I'm so sick and tired of Disney and Hollywood in general. Just this, like, giving us the finger and all that. And now here's the thing. That's their legacy. Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy is a butt end of a joke now at South Park. And you know what the value of the Star Wars franchise and the Indiana Jones franchise is now?
No.
I heard they're selling it back to Lucas now.
Well,
he's going to make profit.
If he pays it. But right now, if your asset generates nothing but losses, guess what? Zero value.
Which is incredible.
Value. Yeah. It just
it's a shame.
Well, and again, try to defend feminism. Hey, we gave this to a woman, and she literally took the most valuable franchises in America's cinema and turned it into zero.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they fucking ruined Marvel.
Not gonna lie, that's impressive.
It's hard to do it by accident.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it by accident.
I don't know. It just, if I was a spinster, worthless hack of shit that might as well not exist, maybe I'd be like, oh, everything has to be vagina. Oh my God.
You are, but you have a penis. That's the difference.
Some might argue I produce something of value on the side too. Exalted example. $5. I'm a network engineer. They took away our work from home. We all ignored it. They can't fire our whole department, at least until ChatGPT progresses more. I got it, Paul. That's got Paul. Come on, man. Podcast, Paul. I got to imagine that's kind of the attitude too, with a lot like these guys about being like, yeah, make me.
Yeah, that's how I am with my department that I run. My guys are like, oh, they want us to come back. I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They don't know what you do. Just tell them you're working at the data center. They don't fucking know.
Well, there's also this attitude where I will give Gen Z and the millennials one thing and a huge credit, but you guys listen to Josh Fluke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where he's just like, no, fuck you, we're done with this shit. And I'm kind of like, okay, you're right. This is, like, no, there's no reason for you to commute. It just isn't. It should be more meritocratic. So I do like to see that pushback to the old guard of corporate
calling the
America.
bluff, man.
Yeah, no, calling the bluff. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field for $10 again. Here's my resume of jobs: cashier, Blimpie sandwich maker, Pizza Hut pizza maker, and mink farmer as a teen.
Ooh,
interesting.
Wow.
Soldier from 18 to 33, forklift operator, ammo handler, trucker, handyman, male privilege.
Can't you hold down a job, bro?
No, I thought it was going to say male stripper. I'm like, upscale.
Oh, he's working all these jobs at the same time.
Well, he's also a truck driver. Like he's bored. That's why he tunes into this show all the time. Speaking of bored people with nothing else going on, nonstop Dre again for $5. My first job was a combat job in the Marines at 17, and I've never complained that much on my worst day. But I understood that work isn't meant to be fun. Dre's an interesting cat. He obviously didn't have like life handed to him, but now he's over in the Middle East working a job he won't tell us about, and we never get pictures either. Yeah, so he's doing
one
something.
of those type of jobs.
Aztec twins, the Aztec patriarch, $2. Good, less competition for us productive ones. Correct. Nonstop Dre, $2 again. Come to the Middle East, Cappy. The women look good. It's a little far away, but Siege D, $5.
Maybe I'll meet him over there next year.
How can you tell they're all wearing burqas over there?
Right. I don't know which. He won't tell us. Like, he's a friend. I'm like, hey, send me in chat some pictures. Let us know what. And he has yet to do it. So
actually, there's a lot of like hot Russian chicks in Dubai.
Yeah, they're called prostitutes.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson.
What did you guys think it was? What did you think what really? Like they're there working? Well, they are there working, but they're
Ethiopians, not Polish, Ukrainians, all and Filipinos, all prostitutes.
Siege D, $5. Thanks for the financial recommendations, Jack. Graham Stephan, Poor Rich's retirement really helped me and my brother. Good. That's Nonstop Dre again, $2. The solution is patriarchy, turd flinging monkey. It is. Burbshide, too Australian. Simping is cancer. It most certainly is. Nonstop Dre, 2 books. Who would be on the upcoming $1,000 bill? Big Mike? Who's Big Mike?
I think it's Michelle Obama. That's Big Mike.
Athamel Decua, our friend over in Reno, for $2 with a super sticker. I can't see it. No doubt it's probably Mexican poops or a rabbit going crazy. Nonstop Dre, $2. Let's not forget Cappy loves Michelle Obama arms. I'm going to say it again. Michelle Obama is a feminine woman. Don't care. I know that is my least popular. It's not. She wore dresses. She had long hair. She looked like a woman, and she was very presidential ladylike. Nuclear Cadillo, who you guys should all go tune into here next for 501. The thin line between from expecting women to act like an adult, or are they helpless children who need men to guide them? Correct. And they can switch that anytime. Depends on the minute. Thomas V, 10 generous dollars. Feminism is worldwide gaslighting for 6+ decades. Authority without the corresponding level of responsibility. Thomas V, $5. Kathleen Kennedy forgot the hero's journey is a male journey. But she could have, if she thought, she could have had some character development in all the characters, female or not.
But, dude, she could. Like, remember when like you had Aliens, Sigourney Weaver, right? Remember Terminator 2 with Sarah Connor? There was a hero's journey there, and those characters are kind of badass. And then fast forward, and now it's like I'm kicking everybody's ass because the power of my vagina.
It can be done well, but what ruins it is when they make a strong female character and then they make the guys look stupid.
Well, of course.
Hey,
right,
Terminator 2 is still about a guy getting cucked and stepping up to the role of stepdad.
True.
Hey, Arnold is stepping up for the role of stepdad.
Here, I'll explain Kathleen Kennedy.
He's a robot.
she may have some talent, but we'll never know because she's lazy. That's it. So all you people are in Hollywood, you're lazy. You can't come up with an original idea. You are too lazy to write a character. Right. I would also say this: a lot of them don't know how to write a character because they themselves are not human.
I think a lot of them are cowards too because they're afraid to take chances on something new.
Right, but if you look at the writers if you look at the writers of She-Hulk, all privileged little girls who never had to work hard in life, and you're going to write somebody with depth in character, cripe's sake, you're barely human. You're not even human. You're NPCs. You're asking NPCs to write human beings. It ain't going to happen.
Well, what they do is when you know how they make these things and tailor these scripts is they sit down in a conference room, and it's a bunch of producers and people going, well, we got to hit this demographic,
right?
Oh, we got to hit that demographic, and it kills the creative process. So there is no depth. It's only checking the block. We got the trans person here, the gay character here, the token minority there. She'll have this quality, that quality. Like it's just trying to check blocks.
You're 100%
test groups.
Yeah, you're 100% right. But I would also add these people are Californians, and I'm not even joking. I mean, your culture is worthless. You're not humans. You're parasites. You're not working people. You're sad, pathetic ideologues. You're robots. You're programs. And you couldn't write a human being ever in your life because you're not humans. You're just not. Nonstop Dre, $2. I've sent Chad pictures before. He's tall enough. Farak, JOD, Jordanian dollars, you guys think?
I think so.
2,000 Jordanian dinars. Paul, you were over there. Is it dinars?
It's dinar, but I don't know if
dinar.
I mean, I'm not up on the currency of Jordan.
Well, no, I don't need a chart. I'm just trying to get it. Women need to man up. They do.
It's Jordanian dinars.
Look at me. I am still a good economist.
You are an economist.
I am an economist. Alex Pitino again, $10. I had a funny experience in Nuremberg, Germany. I somehow ended up hanging out with a hot Polish gal, and she could speak Spanish. After a day of hanging out, she told me that she worked at the red light. Oh, there you go. Did you get any, Alex?
Dude, Polish girls
for free.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. The real questions.
this year. All right, that's it. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys, and thanks for everyone tuning in. Very many thanks for the kind super chats. And we're going to see you guys later. Toodles.
Toodles.
Laters, guys.